early into my senior year of my high school football season. I think it was like the second or third game, and uh, this particular Saturday we have it's usually like a practice, and then all the guys go home and just just hang out. So I remember we went to practice, and then I had went over to one of my good friends' house, which we do all the time. We're just hanging out, and his brother comes, and they pretty much drove from Tucson to back home on no gas, some college stuff, and uh, the guys were trying to get back out. So we had came up with a great idea to try to, siphon the gas out of one of the older vehicles that we had parked in the garage, to put it in the one that they were driving at the time. And we were trying to do it like with the water hose and stuff. And no, it wasn't as easy as you see on movies and TVs and stuff like that. So nobody was really willing or able to try it. And then we came up with the great idea to use a vacuum cleaner. So we would use the vacuum cleaner to get the gas out and put it in, whatever the container was that we were using. So it was actually working, one of those things where like it seemed like a good idea at the time, but I was the only person in the garage when it happened. So I went to unplug the vacuum cleaner and wrap it up. And when I reached for the socket to pull it out, I was standing over and it's like a spark and boom, it just exploded, so I had, I was super shocked, I was very fortunate to pretty much get help so fast. I think that was like the number one thing. The fire department and everybody, they came so quick, and I remember pretty much everything until, those guys got me and took me in to start with the care and everything like that. So, that's what I remember. I remember waking up that night in the hospital and seeing my family around and stuff like that. I remember I woke up and like one of the first things I said was like, I had movement in my hands. Like I can, I can move my hands. Like, oh, I'm gonna be straight. That was like one of the first things that came to my mind. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be good. Like I had movement in my hands. I don't know. It was just for me that was enough. Just at that moment. But and then from there we kind of went into the recovery process at the burn center. It's a very slow process. I remember that was my first time going to meet therapists and like having somebody like to talk me through, like what I was going through mentally and what to expect and stuff like that. That was huge. It was just a slow process, man. Just so slow. Oh man, it's painful, man. My mom, she never left the hospital, so her on top of everybody else in my family, I feel like personally, like they all like put all their prayers and like all their worry into like helping me and understanding like I had a goal and they wanted me to get back, on track with that. But to put the cherry on top, like the community, as far as like the other high schools around Chandler and throughout the state of Arizona, it was, that was like, for me and my family, like personally, like it was everything, because it was kind of like my acknowledgement of like I was doing something athletically and people recognized. So that's how I took it. I was like, man, that it felt good, like to get back out there. It made you want to. But like I said, my family stood there. I don't think nobody like expected like what I was gonna have to do when I was in the hospital, from from uh from the cleaning, all the way to getting out of the bed to walking again. I had to do all of that before I left. And then once I got to the outpatient facility, it was like it was really cool for me personally because I was like the biggest guy in there. It was like a lot of older ladies and stuff. So it was like I was so blessed. I can't even lie. I can't even lie throughout this process because these people like they wanted me. They was trying to see, like, make me prove that I can, like, do this every day. Like, challenge, because they were doing it. Like, it was just, I was so blessed. So like, while I was there, I was always driven. There was no day when I was an outpatient where I felt like I hated being there, mainly because of the people that I was around. They kind of like they really kept me going. Just like, just staying motivated, seeing all of these people who were still getting it done, like, regardless, they kept me motivated. So sports was my dream, is my dream. Uh, and that, when you're in high school, you get a chance. You're so excited because you get this chance to go to college. You graduated, and everybody that you grew up with, we all, like, separated. You got guys who play football going to other colleges, and I felt like I messed up. Like, I made a huge mistake, and, like, I didn't know if I was gonna have that opportunity. It was such a huge incident. It was like, where do I go? Like, what's the next? Nobody knew. Nobody really knew what was next. So it was a huge blow to my confidence, especially at the beginning, when you have to, like, pretty much just, like, accept, you know, the conditions, and realize it's like, okay, this, and this, and then, you can go and, you just continue whatever they have for you and get back to your regular life if you take the steps and stuff. So I think that's where sports and, like, that kind of linked it. I realized I had to take the steps in order to get healthy, or to get back to my normal life. So, I had a really large amount of scholarships. So we had schools that pulled and never called back, or send mail back and stuff like that. Actually, my senior year, after I did my steps, through inpatient, outpatient, and everything like that, one of my huge goals was to make it and be a part of the basketball season. So I played my senior year, and I also ran my senior year track. So, one of my huge goals was to be back out there around my friends and things like that. So I think that kind of, like, also showed the schools and stuff that, like, I was gonna be willing. I know I had to wear my garments and stuff like that while I was participating when I was playing basketball and running track, but I was able to go, so I put them on and just went. One of the guys from the University of Oregon, the coach at the time, Coach Flugrad, he would call me often. I remember one time he had a chance to come meet me and, like, talk to my mom and stuff. He came to see me when I was in the hospital. When I got to school, I still had to wear the garments. I was healing well, but I still had to wear my garments and stuff like that, just to, like, be cautious and be safe. In my freshman year, I really just dove in. Like, I had remembered I missed a lot of football because I didn't play my senior year, and, those last few games. So for me, it was just about diving in. Like, I seen all of these dudes moving. Like, I'm like, this is where I'm supposed to be, and I was moving with them. I had to redshirt. I ended up sitting out my first year in redshirt, and to give myself time to recover and stuff like that. But they threw me in, man, and I was able to keep up. It was like your freshman year is, like, it's really the best thing because you're so far, you're away from everybody, and I just felt like I was living my dream. Like, I honestly felt like I was living my dream. I felt good. I kind of felt good that I was away. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't, like, at home to where I felt like people had to baby me or, like, always come check on Dion and stuff like that. Even throughout college, like, it was a grind. I had to figure out where I was going to play, figure out how to play, and be a good teammate throughout the process. Because I had a chance to be on a very, very good team throughout those years. So I had to figure out that process, like, the process to get to the NFL, the work ethic, the attitude, the whole alteration of from becoming a college kid to now a professional. So I realized that I had the talents, to make it, the deeper I got into my career. Uh, I was fortunate enough to get a good agent and pretty much just work the process. I had enough to prove to a lot of professional teams that that I had a chance to play in the NFL. I didn't know where I was going to get drafted, but I knew like I had the talent, all of those little intangibles, and we got deeper into this process of like, being a draftee and everything like that. And talked to pretty much every team, but one team I didn't speak to was the Miami Dolphins. So, you get closer to draft day and everything like that, and everybody was excited for me, my family and friends and everything, because they kept seeing my name on the ESPN ticker and seeing that I was going to be a high draft recruit. And it's crazy. I didn't even want to go to New York. I wanted to like be with my family and had them spend that time, but they all came with me to New York, so that made it even better, for everybody. I had no idea the Dolphins were going to call me because I never spoke to these people. And it was like, I did a draft night, and woke up the next day, was on a plane to South Florida. Explain to you, once I got a chance to like, see what I wanted to do, like realize it was real, I took off. It was no looking back. And once I made that decision, once I got to college, and then I ended up overdoing like my expectations and my dreams, the way I got to the big leagues. And I think some of it did stem from it, not having the ability to reach out and ask for help, because at that time I was much older. I think a lot of it had to do with just not taking responsibility for, the things that I was doing, the people I was hurting in the process, and just I wasn't willing to slow myself down to realize, if you don't take care of your faith first and, your connection with your higher power, if you don't listen to your family and friends, the people who care about you and want to help you, that, they're usually the first ones to notice, something's wrong. So you gotta be willing to listen to these people who are around you, willing, like trying to give you the help that you need. It's vast, man. Like once I slowed down and took accountability for like my physical health and mental health and stuff like that, it was like the world of people who were willing to help me was like astronomical. Everybody from, counselors to ex-football players. There's so many people who are willing to help you achieve your goals if you slow down and just listen, first. I think that was a thing, everything escalated with me so quick. I had no idea. There's nobody in my family who's been in the NFL. So I feel like I had nobody like to ask, how do you become whatever this is? I really held on because I decided personally, like the number one thing for me is me and my well-being. I use what I went through, my younger years through my burn as like some, what I mean? Like, bro, you can do this. Like, it shouldn't be anything to you to help yourself. Like, honestly, like, what I mean? Like, you got proof. And I look at my hands, I can look at my legs and be like, bro, you've done it multiple times. It shouldn't be anything for you to do it again. Yeah, I know, and I'm continuing to learn that, you got to be surrounded by like-minded people in order to achieve, the dreams that you want, and I think when you're going through recovery, like a lot of us look at, where we want to be or where we were, and gotta like really like sit down and realize and humble ourselves, like, it's uncomfortable to, to go through this process, but the people that are in front of me, that I can reach out and touch, these are the people that will help me get right, just like being in the now and seeing like the people and the things that are in front of you that you need to achieve these goals, man. Like family is everything, being willing to tell your story to other people who've gone through what you've gone through is everything. You know, it's looking at people who, you know what I mean, just looking at like-minded people and just being able for them to understand what you're going through. I think that's the number one thing of everything, and it kind of limits your circle too with people that you need to be around in general. Keeps you more happier and out of trouble and all of these things. Man, it's okay to ask for help and like have people lift you up. That is like okay to do. So that's something that that sometimes I forget, by just trying to go and go and go. But I always like humble myself and remember, like the times that I didn't have or the times that, were rough for me, who were those people around? I look at them in their eyes and they explain to me, what that feeling is and why I should keep going. So, and I just try to continue to do that as well. I try to do it with my brothers and my sisters, keep them on the same type of focus and mindset of serving each other to get to our goals. Those type of people like are everything for us. Believe in positivity is real, and positive people are also are real. So, believe that it'll be a sunny day.